Welcome to this week's Metagame Minute, your once weekly follow-up podcast to your favorite Dungeons & Dragons show, Chaotic Amateurs. Let's kick it around, reverse horn order. Mr. Ball, Milo.
It's starting to feel like normal horn order.
I know. It's the exact, you always go in that direction.
I don't know why I like it. I like hearing what you have to say.
You want me to go
I just
last.
spark other conversation. That makes sense, yeah.
You're spiting me. I get it. I know.
Where's Ball at? What do you think about Scory trying to investigate a floating boulder that's crushing things, Mario Bros. Style? What do you think about these scorpions?
I forgot that was this episode.
Structure we found, all that.
I just loved thinking about how Ball was kind of scolded for taking so long to get to the wastes and stuff, and just being like, no, we have to ignore this stuff and just get to our mission. I thought that was just kind of a funny little thing. Beyond that, I don't know. It was just kind of a quiet episode for Ball, which was probably a good thing. I'm curious what's in that vial. Or that bottle, shiny, glowy silver stuff. Some
Quicksilver, maybe some mercury, maybe some crafting supplies for your workbench.
Oh, I got to really beat on this guy too. This is the first time I've actually used my double attack, so that was fun. Level 5, baby.
It did feel like we all opened up with some like new abilities and like really like wailed on these dudes.
Oh, and using that the enlarge for
that was awesome.
For Wolf was fun. It was like, we'll just make it like a pretty dancing lady, and that'll make him real big.
Also, I enjoyed your moment at the beginning where you were, you were kind of going back and forth with the aura thing, and then
I totally forgot about that, honestly. I wanted to bring the rest of the group in on that kind of contemplation that he was having. I thought it made it a little more interesting doing that. So
it's nice because it does feel important to your character, and so it was kind of a nice little way for all of us to sort of interact on that. I thought.
Yeah. Cool.
Caleb. So you were trying to like ride a scorpion, I guess, and like investigate floating boulders. Like, what's going on with you today?
Well, it's funny that you.
Hey, Caleb, what the fuck's your problem?
I feel like all I did was ask if anybody has seen this before.
I know.
And then everybody just hated me for the rest of the show.
It was such a harmless question.
But, whatever.
Is it
harmless? Yeah. I'll pay you guys back somehow, but
I'm gonna roll these bones so hard.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did think that floating rock was exciting, but all I could think about, and somebody brought it up, was like the prison rock where we all spent like 20 minutes like investigating it, and then somebody would be done, and it's like, well, wait a minute, that gives me an idea. And it's cool.
I still am wondering about that prison rock.
Well, that's at our house.
There's 100% something with that prison rock.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny because in Dungeons and Dragons, like the world is so magical, and like I've been playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist, where like all of these like really crazy magical things are like just a normal part of like the world there. And I've been thinking like, oh man, like I don't know what it's like in Alex's world. But like, man, when I play Dungeons and Dragons, when I'm like, I make everything so mundane and like, oh, magic is crazy, it's special. And I was like, maybe it's not that way here. So I don't know. I just took a leap. Like, it's a magical rock, you dipshit. You live in a world with fucking dragons,
Yeah, like I did like that because you did say something that's like pretty much that where you're like, have you never seen magic before? Like, so I would imagine that this isn't like out of the realm. I mean, like we teleported from our mansion to town.
Yeah.
So to see like a bouncing like rock or whatever, I was kind of like, this seems like another Alex thing where he's like, maybe he's not prepared. He's trying to lead us down a track. So he's like, these fucking idiots will just talk all day about this fucking rock.
Well, and I was thinking too, it wasn't Scory or Zephyrus even, but it was the other players. Like we had the floating rocks at the gin lair,
True.
Which weren't giant boulders that were smashing up and down. So
yeah,
I get your curiosity. I kind of was just trying to like do something new, and I shut you down in the worst way possible.
It's totally fine. And honestly, if it had been closer to us, I probably would have insisted a little bit more. But the fact that it was so far off track, I wasn't motivated enough to follow that up, and delay our our mission, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like if it was following us
all
like
good.
the bouncing ball on the TV screen, like
Yeah. What about the scorpions and stuff? What do you got going on here?
I'm bummed that my when I did hit, the damage roll wasn't so good because
That's normal for you.
It's a 2d12 though, which is pretty good for a cantrip. So if I had hit good numbers on both of them, that I would have been hitting up near some of you other guys. But
I definitely heard poison spray, and I was like, well, these are scorpions. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
About that fun level where we get to start adding dice to our cantrips and stuff. So
yeah, it's pretty exciting. And I'm also very intrigued about this bottle that I slipped into my little satchel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should inhale it, let it out, break it on something.
We kind of made fun of you about
Drink
the butt
it,
chug thing, but totally all I could think of when you were doing the stuff with the aura was you're like, I'm gonna taste it, and I don't know why this went through my head. This just shows you how juvenile I am. But you like pretend to have it on your finger, and all I could think was just like, here we go. Let's see what it does up here.
Yeah, that is pretty juvenile. But yeah.
Ball does have an alchemical kit and is trained in it, so he could definitely take a look at that.
Just a heads up on that. Okay.
I was excited to
before you go sticking your finger in your butt, like talk to the doctor.
Yeah, Ball's not going to help with that. Sorry.
I was excited to get to cast my first second level spell finally. Maximilian's Earthen Grasp. It was kind of fun. Missed the first time, but it's a pretty cool, powerful spell. It's kind of crazy when you're playing and all of a sudden you encounter all these like fringe cases, because like attacking it is like naturally something that I would have done if I was on the other side, but like there's just no rules for it. I searched everywhere. Jeremy Crawford doesn't even have a ruling on it. I dug pretty deep in that whole round trying to find something. But yeah, that was kind of fun. And I was looking forward to casting my cantrips with extra dice, Eldritch Blast and stuff, but we didn't get there.
Hey, that Sandman hand thing was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool spell. Like you can grab them and crush them every time, or you can grab them like beat them up and stuff. It's pretty cool. My spell save is pretty low, unfortunately, just because of the way I built my character.
Yeah,
so I was
same
go for those spells that don't necessarily cast and burn if you miss. That's kind of why I picked this one, because I could cast it and it has a duration. It doesn't just go away if I miss.
Also, I think that's like one of the first times in my memory that I can really feel Zephyrus like showing some power and some actual like attack on the battlefield.
Yeah,
because like at the tournament you were in the the stands and that kind of shit, and then you died, and so then we had the strummer and all that sort of stuff. But this is like I was like, fuck, man, that's awesome that he can do that shit.
I wailed on some people in the very beginning episode, but like, I used my hex to add some damage and then just hit him with my cantrips and stuff. But a lot of my spells miss. Like I've tried really hard to like use like Chaos Bolt, which is like a really fun one that can bounce and stuff if you roll it right. But it just never quite connected the right way. So, but yeah, this is the first time in a long time that Zephyrus has been useful in a fight. So that was fun.
It was awesome, man.
Riff, what about you? I'm kind of like really digging these ruins and stuff, and I think it was kind of cool seeing Riff, like interacting with the markings on the wall and doing all that.
Yeah, Riff, like I've said, like every, I said the stuff a couple episodes ago about like how I kind of see her as like, doing sort of more necrotic stuff in with her shadow monk stuff, and then hopefully one day becoming a vampire. And what I'm really trying to do is like, you watch like the characters build in like Airbender over the course of like the 4 seasons or whatever. And I'm really trying to take her into a different mode because, she's 12 now. She had her birthday. And I want her to start to think of like the world and magic. And like, that's why I'm taking all this stuff like on the aura, like I said last time. And I'm really trying to start to build her and like to kind of like show her power a bit more, because like that's what I was doing, like the Pass Without Trace thing, like I just did it, and I probably wouldn't have actually told you guys as Riff, I just sort of like I said, like hit my foot on the top of and I'm sure Zephyrus was like, now no need to stop here on this fine roof that we're riding in. But like then I can't, and I just don't tell you guys, and so like
easy on the woodwork there.
Yeah, and then also I have a researcher's thing now at the level that I'm at and stuff, so it's like I can like look at, I'm really into the research thing and trying to figure stuff out and really building like my own field of shadow monk magic, like something to where like maybe I could teach somebody, but almost kind of like Brad Pitt and Troy, like no one else fought like him, even though he was using the same techniques-ish or whatever.
Your own family kung fu.
Yeah, my own.
Well, it's like spells.
Hood's
MAA.
Like,
somebody's got to create these spells too,
Yeah,
and so Maximilian created the spell I just used. I don't know who that guy is, but
and like I like that sort of thing. And then and now with the dual wielding, the shadow chucks and that sort of stuff. When I cast those shadow chucks, by the way, just for anybody out there interested, I view them as like the black lightsaber Mandalorian, or like the blade or whatever, like that sort of like
dark saber.
Yeah, the dark saber, and like so it's that sort of thing, but just with a little bit of smoke and resonance, but it's got that glow to it. So like when I throw these chucks, it's like I still have my chucks in my hand, but it's almost like when original Nintendo Zelda, when you had full hearts, you could like shoot the sword. It's like that. It's like I do the moves or whatever, and then like the shadow versions like fly out at the enemy or whatever. Nice. And I really wanted to try to do like the stuff without casting spells, because I do have some spells. I've been kind of like slowly retooling my character and like what I have that I feel honestly that I would be studying now as I've grown to know the character more, obviously all within the parameters of my class and all my shit. But it's so I've been slowly rebuilding her and all this stuff that I've been learning at the library and all that sort of shit, like and she's just going to get sneakier, and there's going to be some stuff where she's got a couple powerful cool fucking things that she can do, so I'm excited to break them out when the time is ready. And
Sweet.
And Mr. Wolf and I's fucking adventure, I think Milo, did your shit cut out then? Like when Mr. Wolf and I were talking about our side quests we want to do?
Yeah. My computer fell over.
Okay,
again.
so what you didn't hear was that Mr.
Well, no,
Wolf.
don't tell him. I waited until he left to bring it up.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I won't tell you.
Dash, Mr. Wolf, opening up on these scorpions with a brutal freaking 32 damage attack.
Yeah, and then I didn't do anything for the rest of the fight. It was really cool.
Oh, you were Big Wolf?
Yeah, you were. You were 14 feet tall. You weighed 8 times as much as you normally do. Enlarge is like one of my favorite spells. Like I just
chonky.
Yeah, you're chonky boy.
Yeah,
making big Christmas hams
boy.
back there.
Yeah, big old chonky boy, chonky hands.
Yeah, that's what Ball should do to punish you when you get out of control. Is just reduce you.
So
that sounds like a really good idea now.
I'm like 4'11", and I'm like, hey, I'll crush you.
You're still bigger than me.
That's what we do in bar fights, so that people think it's fair. Is that Ball reduces you and you just wail on people as like a little guy
to only 6 feet tall.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, anything else? What about the little dungeon we're in? I mean, kind of feels like peak Dungeons and Dragons to me. What's Wolf thinking about that?
I mean, smash, kill, destroy. That's what he's thinking.
Destroy.
He's gonna wreck these scorpions, and the whole time he's gonna be like, "This is way better than a floating rock."
Yeah, that's one of the things. It
kind of was though, right? Like unless that floating rock had like a dungeon inside of it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
which I guess we'll never know.
Wolf is just thinking in his head, like, yeah, obviously we should not let Scory pick the adventures. Man,
just remember. Just remember all this, okay? All the bully.
The whole time I'm smashing these scorpions, I'm just like, could you imagine just sitting there trying to study a fucking rock?
You're like my axe is like that boulder falling on these scorpions over and over.
Did you use your chain dealy do?
No, I don't think Ball has fully built it yet.
Gotcha.
He wants to use it on people, not scorpions.
Yeah, I want to send it flying.
Alex, what about you? How are we playing your game? Did we miss something really cool at the floating boulder that you just want to vindicate Caleb with.
Oh boy, I mean, you're never gonna know.
Yeah, it's
Never
not
gonna know.
necessary. I'll
Yeah.
take care of it myself.
What's fun though? I mean, with that is I
Story
put
solo
together
episode.
a nice random table for the wastes, and so
Oh, fun.
there's something different basically on every 100 roll. And so, like I was saying, like there's a million ideas, and we'll see which ones you guys end up doing. Some of them, yeah, it's just kind of exploring some of this world, trying to get more information out of it. But then others are going to have scorpions or worse in them.
I hope we roll another 59 then at some point.
Yeah.
I rolled
Hey,
a 3.
why don't you just have Scory like cast some runes and just have the runes tell him what the rock is all about?
Yeah, talk
Isn't
to your
that
ancestors.
what that's for? Yeah, talk to your ancestors.
It's in the
That's
Discord.
highly offensive. That's not how it works.
It's in the Discord. You guys can get your
Okay.
own rune readings for $1 a month.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes when it works.
we should do a solo episode. Scory sneaks off in the middle of the night, and we call the episode "Scory in the Boulder."
He never comes back. He died
Because he
got crushed by a boulder.
The thing is, well, see, that's what it is like the boulder, like people go up to it when they get close to it, it sucks them in, and the boulder gets bigger, so it's just a bunch of souls of people.
Yeah. It's a soul
Bouncing
boulder.
ball of souls.
Yeah.
It's
The
like a
solder.
spirit bomb
The
boulder.
solder. Hashtag solder.
Solder.
Hashtag panger.
All right, guys. Well, hey, this has been your Metagame Minute, your weekly Chaotic Amateurs follow-up podcast. We appreciate you following us along in new, regular, reverse horn order, or whatever you want to call it. Come back on Monday, and you'll find out what happens with this vial of silver liquid and so much more. We'll see you then. Grab a sword, keep on adventuring.
And maybe we'll find out what happens to the boulder.
Maybe.
Maybe.